Hello! Today I thought it would be fun to do some sketching in my sketchbook, of course, of my OC Posy. I see a lot of cute dolls on Pinterest, so I thought those would be fun to use as inspiration. Okay, this let's just all ignore this. I am a perfectly normal, sane person. I was just drawing Tainari, earlier that day. Let's all just be kind and pretend we did not see that, okay? Mm-hmm. So I decided to make it easy for myself and just redraw one of the dolls I found as my OC, or my OC as one of the dolls that I found. Yeah. Um, so I didn't have to come up with any sort of pose and stuff. I'm kind of really nervous about sketching on camera. I'm not used to it. So I thought I should just do something simple. So I won't be intimidated by, at least won't be intimidated by the drawing itself. So this is my OC Posy. She's a little bunny girl with floppy bunny ears because I think those are the cutest. And she works at a hotel. I don't really know what else I could say about her because sharing stuff about my OCs is really scary. And so I don't think I'm ready for that yet. But there's more to her. I ended up not drawing the guidelines for her body. I only really did it for her shoulders. So it does come out looking a little wonky, but I don't know. I like doing it like that when I have a reference, because normally when I have a reference, it's just to have fun drawing. So I think it looks fine goofy. Sometimes I like my art better when the anatomy is all goofy and cute. I feel like this doesn't really look like Posy. I drew her eyes smaller than I normally draw them because she has pretty big eyes. Sometimes I feel like I draw them too big. But then this one, I think I drew them just, they were too toned down. I had a lot of fun drawing the dress. I really liked doing the little ruffly things on her shoulders. I don't know what you would call them. And I really liked doing the ribbons. And I liked doing the flowers. The flowers were fun. I honestly don't know what I'm gonna talk about if I'm not talking about my OCs. I feel like whenever I try to do voiceovers, most of it is me just sitting there and trying to figure out what to say. I don't script them. I don't like making a script. I don't think making a script would really help either because I tried, I think for my last video, and it was honestly so much harder, and so I just ended up not using a script. But yeah, I kind of run out of things to talk about because I feel like I'm gonna start repeating the same things in every video. And there's only so much I can say about the process. So if anybody has any tips or ideas of what I could talk about for my voiceovers, that would be appreciated. I was actually really upset about this last layer on the skirt. The reference had it, so I added it. But after I did it, I didn't like how it looked, but I kept it there, even though I really could have just gotten rid of it. But I guess I didn't realize that was an option. I was sketching with a really blunt pencil because I hadn't sharpened it since the last time I had used it. So it was actually really nice for adding like shading and stuff. I mean, I didn't do anything crazy, but it was nice with how soft it was, and I had a lot of fun doing that. That's also why I so much prefer using just a regular pencil over mechanical pencils. I used to be using mechanical pencils all the time, but I feel like my art would always turn out really stiff because the tip is so fine, you know, like the lead is, yeah, it's so thin, it never really gets blunt, which I mean is probably a pro for a lot of people. But for me, it made me go detailed way too fast. And I don't know, I didn't like how sharp it looked. I didn't like it. I much prefer the softer look. So yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna go back to using mechanical pencils unless it's really thick lead. So then I went over with a ballpoint pen. It was working fine at first, but the more I was using it, the ink would just start like jamming, and it would just be, I'd be pressing so hard that on the other page there was marks from the pen. And sometimes it would like dent the page so much that just the ink wouldn't want to stick on there anymore. I don't know, it was very annoying, but for some reason I didn't think to try and find a different pen. So I kind of stuck through and kept using that pen. I do most of it off camera because, I was having such a hard time with that. It was so annoying. Okay, I do end up drawing her feet. I was kind of intimidated to draw shoes because I'm not too good at drawing shoes or feet. So I kind of just like cut it off there, and I was like, oh, maybe it'll look fine. But it just made it look like she had really long legs. Like it made it look like when you just kind of cut off part of the legs on your drawings, which I do a lot because legs are hard to draw. But it just made it look like her legs would just keep going on after that point, and it didn't look right. And so I do end up giving her feet, even if they do look a little goofy. It made it look a lot better. She doesn't have crazy long legs now. And then I was trying to figure out what I should draw next to her, around her, I don't know. And so I decided to do a picture frame. I am hoping that after I get more used to making voiceovers, that there won't be so many pauses. I feel like I'm talking very slow, and like, yeah, I have so many pauses like in between every single one of my words. And I feel like that's probably kind of tiring to listen to. So I'm really hoping that as I have more experience, that I can get over that at least. And then I drew a rose on a different piece of paper, and I cut it out and I put it on or in the picture frame. I think I really like it because the white of the paper is a lot more off-white, and so I think it looks cute against like the kind of cooler white. Yeah. I was thinking of drawing another one of my OCs on the other page, but again, I was feeling kind of intimidated with the sketching on camera, so I just decided to keep it simple again, and I just did Posey's face. I kept her in the same outfit. I feel like this one looks a little more like Posey, but then again, I feel like something throws it off. I feel like I didn't make her hair curly enough. Yeah, I think like it's a little too stuck to her face. And then the long part of her hair, I also feel like I made just too straight. But I don't know. I don't draw her with her hair down that much. I normally draw it in a little side braid. So I'm still trying to figure out how to draw her hair when it's down. So that's probably part of why it looks pretty weird right now. I was making cookies while I was working on this. I was going to take a picture of them, and I was going to put them in the video, but they didn't turn out, they didn't look too good. I ended up cooking the first batch, and then I undercooked the second, and then the last two were perfect, but I don't know, they didn't look as good as I wanted them to. I had made the same cookies before, and they all turned out good, and so I don't know what happened this time. I really don't like baking. It's actually a really stressful experience for me. I think part of it is I don't like how messy it gets. Like, I don't like the sugar and the flour getting all over the counter, and I don't like the stuff like getting on my hands. I have to like wash my hands after every single thing I do. And I also, for some reason, I feel like I'm going to mess up something in the recipe. Like, I'm going to be, like, doing something completely wrong. So I have to, like, keep, like, getting, like, asking someone else. And I'd be like, oh, am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? It's like, oh, it says to soften the butter. Do I soften the butter? And it's, I don't know. I don't like baking. I hate baking. Ugh. But, yeah, sometimes I just want to eat something yummy. I just want a little sweet treat, and so I have to do it. And then I cut out some little hearts to stick next to Posey. And I even used some of the paper from the cutout of the heart because I thought that would be cute. And I taped that on. And yeah, so here it is. I feel like it's pretty decent. I'm pretty proud of myself, considering this was my first time sketching on camera. So yeah, thank you for watching. Maybe sometime I'll talk about Posey more. And yeah,